Oh Lord. Underneath my wig be itching. It's hot. It's hot. Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm Shanaria and this is Shanaria's Trial and Errors. So today I'm just going to be doing a quick video on how I made and installed this wig. Well, I really wouldn't say install because I just plopped it on my head. I didn't glue it down or anything. So recently I've been getting a lot of questions about how I make my wig or where do I buy them from, or just the regular stuff about my hair. I decided to just make a video about it instead of answering all these questions over repeatedly. I could just send people straight to this video. This is the final result. This is after the install, after I flatten it down. I am actually out of mousse, so one side might look a little bit hump. I don't know if it does on camera right now. I'll be able to see it when I'm editing this video. But yeah, so I ran out of mousse, so I didn't get to mousse it down and tie it down. I will get some mousse tomorrow. But yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so let's get into this tutorial. I would like to add before this gets started, I am not a professional in any given way. I just know how I want my wigs made and how I want them to look on me. The hair I have in is 3 bundles and a 5x5 HD lace closure. I get my hair from Melina in Toronto. You guys, I cannot recommend her enough. Definitely go to her. She will hook you up. So I have in a 24, a 22, and a 22, 24, yes. Unfortunately though, she does not sell closures or frontals, which is a bummer. So I do have to find it from somewhere else. I've been getting it from molly. So I had this frontal that I purchased from her, this HD frontal, and I kind of just cut off the sides, basically kind of just made my own closure and then just used the parts for another wig that I wanted to make. I definitely recommend you guys going to Melina. Homegirl will hook you up with the bundles. Let me tell you, she has reasonable priced bundles in Toronto, great quality. Like, I love her hair. Like, I've had her hair, some other wigs that I've had for over a year, and still works amazing. They take color amazing, they take bleaching amazing, and it's very reasonably priced. If you're from Toronto and you tend to order hair from the States, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Everything here is super expensive. I went and got my mannequin head right here. Obviously, you can't make a wig without. I try and find every single needle that I have in my apartment just so I don't have to be going back and forth, and I string all them up before I get started, okay? Right here, I'm just being silly, don't mind me. Obviously, I gotta put my stocking caps on, just to see where I'm gonna place everything. And then I put my stocking cap on my mannequin, and then I just get to sewing. I start off with my 5x5 closure, and I sew down each side as tightly as it can possibly go. So I sew down one side first, and then I stretch it over, the stocking cap, and I sew down the next side as tightly as I possibly can, and then I go ahead and sew the back. Then I get started on the bundles, okay? And I sew, obviously I start with the longest bundle, my 24-inch, and I sew back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I do not cut my wefts. I do the flip over method, so I flip it over and try and sew it down as tight as I possibly can. I used to cut my wefts when I was a novice and very young and didn't know any better. But I found out that when you actually cut the wefts, you lose more hair. Like when you're combing the hair, when you're brushing the hair, it sheds more. So if you can avoid it, please avoid cutting the wefts. Just flip over and do not cut the wefts unless it is completely necessary. So after I finish my 24, I move on to my 22. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, same thing. And then I start getting up to the top with my 20-inch bundles, and then basically kind of just do the same thing. So back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until you kind of get to the lace at the top. So you want to connect to the lace, to up here, right here. and you just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with the bundles. After I'm finished sewing everything down, I take my wig off the mannequin head and I take a scissors and I kind of just cut out the lace underneath my frontal, because obviously we don't need that anymore, so we are just gonna cut it and throw it out. Okay, so now I put the wig on my head and I get my razor and I just look in the mirror. Technically, like, I really don't like using a razor to cut my frontal, only because like I'm so scared of cutting my forehead. I'm really just not very good with it. So sometimes I'll just trade out for scissors, but I try the wig on and yes, it is looking a hot mess. Okay, don't worry, we are going to fix that. It is looking a hot mess, mainly because I didn't wash the hair before I made this wig. Another pro tip: try and wash your bundles and the frontal before you do it, and like put it out to dry and everything. It'll make it much easier, much nicer to work with. Okay, not to mention more sanitary. The hair is washed now. Like, I have washed it, I let it air dry, and it's so much, like, look at it, it's so much better to work with. I go and I get my flat iron, my hot comb, and my curling one, just in case I feel like throwing in a couple curls. Most of the time, 90% of the time I don't, because I'm lazy and I like to leave it straight. It's easier for me if it's straight, if it's kept straight all the time. So what I do is I take the hot comb and I just start going over the hair little by little, like piece by piece. First I go over it with a flat iron and try and straighten it out as much as possible. I generally I am a middle part girl. I used to be a side part, but apparently now I'm a middle part girl. So because I know where I want my part to be already, I will put the wig back on the mannequin and just start flat iron it, and going over it also with the hot comb. I'll also take my Got To Be spray and try and spray down any flyaways while I'm doing that, only because again it makes it so much easier for me to tame things that way, and this hair kind of seems to have a lot of flyaway, which I'm not too happy about, considering it's supposed to be a HD and the amount of money I spent on it, but that is neither here nor there. After that, I, go over one side with everything, and then I go over the other side with everything. Okay? And that is it. And this is the result. This is about, I want to say about 2 weeks later. That's why the hair is washed by now. I could not deal with all the tangling and dirt, I'm guessing, was in it because of the tangling. So I washed it and I hung it up to dry, and then I came home and it was really, really nice. It was clean, it was fresh, it was bouncy, and just today I just did a nice little straighten out, and yeah, I love it. So this is the result of the hair. Again, if you guys have any questions, don't forget to drop them down below. I will try and answer all of them if I can. Go down, hit that like button, that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye!